Hi, I'm JacobTubeHD. Welcome back to the movie I want to talk about. The show that does less for my favorite holiday because Halloween was fucking insane and out of my control. Now, this time, I'm not going to let anyone or any premonition decide what I review this month, despite the looming shadow I have to review, because I promised a friend who ruined my life for a month and made me review 32 movies that I would review the film Elf.
Feel better.
God! Jesus Christ, you can't fucking scare me like that, Hayden.
It's December. Where is the Elf video?
Whoa, okay? You need to tone it down a bit because that was a bit aggressive. You see, I said Elf would be the video right before Christmas. The episode that releases right before Christmas Day because Christmas Day isn't on a Friday, sadly. Would have been cool to have a Christmas episode out on Christmas Day. So, with that being said, Christmas isn't for like another few weeks. So, I can review whatever Christmas film I want, as long as I review Elf just days before Christmas.
I guess you did say that, but I'm gonna make you keep your promise. Because if you recall, back in October, I took your game that I still can't pronounce the last part of the name.
You mean Super Smash Bros. Melee, specifically my copy for the GameCube.
Yes, that one. But think about it. If I can take your game in a dream, the possibilities are endless of what I'm actually capable of. Alright, I'll see you in a couple weeks, Jacob. Bye!
Sometimes she scares me. Actually, scratch that because she scares me more than that. Well, like I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, I can review whatever I want this month. The best part about that is that they don't all have to be franchises. That is going to save me a lot of sleep at night, especially when I have to edit these things. So let's change the one thing in this room that I can make Christmas themed. It's Balloon Mind State, because red and green are Christmas colors. Also, it's just a good fucking album. Now let's move on to our actual Christmas backdrop. Wow, I really have missed this place. I have so many traumatic memories of reviewing shitty reboots of actual good movies. Well, at least it doesn't look like that place since there's now a Christmas tree behind me along with Fat Guy That Watches Kids and over 10,000 views I can't properly write a thank you for into a video due to the view count on that episode of Eminem keep on getting higher and higher. On a serious note, thank you guys for that. I really appreciate it. But I, of course, have the best Christmas tree around because I don't see anyone else having a Sega Dreamcast ornament on their tree. Well, now that everything is situated, I can get into our Christmas franchise that we're reviewing today. But just because I'm reviewing a franchise in this episode does not mean I'm reviewing franchises for the other weeks, okay? That was way too much work for me, and Christmas is my downtime. It's my relaxation time. I need to relax, and Christmas is the one time I can do that every year. So let me relax. What franchise are we looking into today? Well, we're looking at a franchise where a kid can get away with traps that almost kill people because he has a neglectful family. This is Home Alone. This film is about Kevin McAllister, who is neglected by his giant family. The family prepares for a Christmas vacation to Paris, but when the day arrives, they forget Kevin and leave him home. While the family tries to head home to Kevin, he realizes two burglars are trying to rob his house. This causes Kevin to wire his house with makeshift booby traps to defeat the burglars. Every TV station plays this film to death, but it's for good reason because Home Alone is fun. The concept is something that any kid can relate to, which is wondering what they would do if they were in the house by themselves. This film could have fallen flat if Kevin wasn't as fun and charming as he is, and that's thanks to Macaulay Culkin. He excels in this role, which is pretty impressive for a child to pull off. Harry and Marv as the Wet Bandits are wonderful and funny. Their chemistry is electric when the two of them are on screen. The funniest part is trying to see Joe Pesci not swear in this kid's film and make up random gibberish. The traps are ridiculous. Not Final Destination crazy, but I'm surprised how they survived some of these traps. But this film is more than just watching burglars get injured by fun traps. It has a huge heart too, and a beautiful message about how important family is, no matter how mad you can get at them, and being brave in scary situations. Also, the family is surprisingly not annoying. I actually like these characters. You can see that this family made an honest mistake for getting Kevin, and you can tell how badly the mother wants to return home to Kevin. This film is a fun ride with a nice emotional core that anyone can connect with. Home Alone gets a 4 out of 5 angels with filthy souls. Now, I've just realized that I am completely home alone by myself. No one is here besides me, which means I can do whatever I want in this house.
Don't give me that. You've been spooching with everybody. Snuffy, Al, Leo, little Mo with the gimpy leg. Cheeks, Bony Bob,
Wait,
Cliff.
I'm 18 years old. I can watch R-rated movies even with people in the house. But at least when I'm home alone, no one can interrupt me while I'm filming.
You're the only duck in my
Yeah, this is disappointing. So let's just move on to the next film. This is Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. This film is about the McAllister family heading on a Christmas vacation to Miami. In the airport, Kevin gets separated from his family, and now he's stuck in New York City all by himself. He is reunited with Harry and Marv, who are planning to rob a toy store, and Kevin has to stop them once again with a whole new set of traps. You can tell this one is the cash grab, but it's still a fun cash grab. It's pretty much the first film in a new setting, which leads to my only problem with this film. It's the first one, but in a new setting. Kevin has to learn the same lesson again about the importance of family, which is weird that he has to learn the same lesson again after being left home alone the first time. It just seems like every character in the McAllister family got resetted just to make this sequel happen. Everything with the returning cast is either repetitive because it's taken straight from the first film, or slightly funny. This film gets saved by its new elements. I love the concept of Kevin getting stuck in a whole city, and I think the hotel was an excellent way of pulling it off. Tim Curry carries this movie on his back with how ridiculous and funny his performance is here. Also, the traps are fucking bonkers in this movie. If you thought a few of the traps could have killed Harry and Marv in the last film, then get ready for shit that should have actually killed these characters. Kevin throws bricks at them, and one of them gets electrocuted to the point where you see his skeleton. And you're telling me that neither of them died or got permanent injuries? The bandits are like fucking Looney Tunes characters. This film feels exactly like the first film, but has enough elements to make it stand out on its own. Home Alone 2 gets a 4 out of 5 Donald Trump cameos. Now, what happens when your main star of the last two movies grows out of the characters? You replace him with a new kid. We've looked at the Home Alone films everyone knows and loves. Now it's time to look at the ones no one knows or loves. And it starts with this next film. This is Home Alone 3. This film is about 4 spies stealing a top secret microchip and hiding it in a toy car. Through a baggage mix-up at the airport, it ends up in the hands of Alex, who's home alone with chickenpox. Now the spies try to break into Alex's house to get the microchip, but not before they can get attacked by more traps. After reading this, you might wonder why a Home Alone film needs spies retrieving a microchip for their boss. I've seen the movie and I'm asking the same question. The stakes are too high for a Home Alone movie. You have a world-dominating microchip in a franchise where all the burglars wanted was money. The spies don't even have fun personalities and chemistry in the way Harry and Marv did. The kid who plays Alex is clearly doing his best, but Kevin was more fun to watch in the last two films. None of his family members are remotely likable, even with one of them played by Scarlett Johansson. Also, Alex isn't fully home alone because his parents just leave for work. He can call to bring them back to the house at any time. The only thing that's really enjoyable about the film is the traps, but how do you mess up the traps in a Home Alone movie? This film ramps up the stakes but loses the heart the last two films had in the process. Home Alone 3 gets a 2 out of 5 toilet seats getting slammed on its thing. Yeah, I don't get it either. After this, these films stopped releasing in theaters, so it's only gonna get worse from here. Thank God I'm only doing one franchise this month. I don't know how many more franchises that start out great, but gets shittier and shittier with each entry I can take. This is Home Alone 4. or Home Alone Taking Back the House. Whatever one you prefer. This film is about Kevin, played by a different actor, running away to spend Christmas with his dad and new girlfriend since Kevin's parents are getting a divorce. He ends up home alone in a high-tech house where he crosses paths with Marv, played by a different actor, and his wife Vera, who are trying to kidnap a prince. Kevin has to once again set off traps to stop our bandits. This film is very annoying. I wish that's all I have to say, but I have to elaborate for the video. Why did we need a recasted Kevin and Marv when the last film allowed a new kid to exist? The kid playing Kevin is even less entertaining than the kid from Home Alone 3. Marv and his wife are just annoying. It's two dumbasses trying to kidnap a prince. Normally it's a regular guy and a dumbass. Two dumbasses being dumbasses is not funny. The rest of the characters are okay. I did like how this film handled divorce and the emotions behind spending the holidays without a parent due to separation, and actually has a sweet ending. The traps are the weakest in the franchise, with the only cool one being the shower. Besides that, it's just things hitting them because two dumbasses are trying to stop Kevin. This film does tackle a message that everyone can relate to, but the movie around that message is horrendous and trying to ruin the joy the first two films gave me. Home Alone 4 gets a 2 out of 5 replacement trees. Reviewing bad movies is hard. That's why I sit here at my thinking table, even though it's just my family dining room table. But I'm home alone, so this is my thinking table. I come here to think about things. Helps me take my mind off of other things. It's nice to not think about things and instead think about other things. There's so many things to think about. Alright, I'm done thinking about things. I need to turn my brain off so I can get through these last two movies. This is Home Alone, The Holiday Heist. This film is about... No. This can't be the plot of a Home Alone movie. The things I do for the show. This film is about Finn and his family moving into a new house in Maine. Finn believes that this new house is haunted and sets up booby traps to capture the ghost. He ends up being home alone with his sister and is unaware of 3 art thieves targeting his house. They need to thwart the burglars' plans and find out if the house is really haunted or not. Okay, say it with me guys, how the fuck is this a Home Alone movie? I don't want to sound like a broken record because all these films have the same problems, but each of them makes it worse. But there's 2 massive fucking problems this film has. First off, how the fuck is this Home Alone if the main kid isn't actually home alone? Finn is in the house with his sister when the burglars arrive. So this isn't Home Alone, this is 2 siblings home together. They try to fix this by locking the sister in a secret room in the basement, but Finn is never truly home alone because his sister is in the basement and can be rescued by either Finn or the burglars trying to steal the painting in that room. Also, why the fuck is the ghost subplot a thing? It's stupid and feels out of place in a Christmas movie about a kid defending his house from burglars. We do not need to spend the majority of the movie worried about whether or not the house is haunted when we should be spending time having Finn interact with the burglars before they try to rob his fucking house. The burglars barely get any goddamn screen time. He only meets one of the 3 burglars and finds out about their plan until about 50 minutes into the hour-and-a-half movie. Most of the film is Finn worrying about whether or not there's a fucking ghost haunting his house. It's a Christmas movie. We do not need a fucking ghost story in a Home Alone movie. This film shouldn't even be a Home Alone movie. It would have been okay if it didn't get ridiculous with a ghost subplot that feels more like the main plot of the movie. Holiday Heist gets a 1 out of 5 kids addicted to snow. Now, normally during times like this, when I think about scary things, I would run to my thinking table. Like my therapist told me after, I went through what I went through during Halloween, went through these horrible, shitty movies. I had to think about them. It was scary. But you know what? I am a man, and I have 1 movie left, so I'm going to power through and get through this film, because nothing can be worse than what I just saw. So, where did this next film release?
Only on Disney Plus.
Ah! Why do I have to review another Disney Plus original? Okay, this didn't end well the first time when I did Hocus Pocus 2. Fuck it. Just breathe. There's one movie left, so let's just get this over with. This is Home Sweet Home Alone. This film is about Max, who was left behind when his family went on a Christmas vacation to Japan. When a married couple tries to steal back a priceless heirloom, Max has to try to protect his house with traps. Well, this is the first time I've hated the main kid in one of these movies. Max is a terrible kid. He's a spoiled brat, unlike the other kids who were neglected by their family and had a reason to wish them away. The moment that made him wish he didn't have a family was his mom saying that he couldn't have McDonald's. This kid takes a water gun from a toy drive to his nice fucking house. The mother and family don't even seem concerned that Max was left home alone. These fuckers don't even realize it until they get to the hotel in Japan. A day probably went by before they realized one of their kids was missing. A lot of people say that Home Alone couldn't be pulled off in modern times with smartphones and all these ways for parents to track their kids. The way they try to get rid of technology is fucking awful and lazy. But the biggest crime this film commits is giving the burglars some fucking humanity. These burglars are about to lose their house and need the doll Max stole from them to sell and make enough money to keep their house. Giving the burglars humanity does not make them getting attacked by traps funny. It makes things sad and makes me feel bad for these two just trying to give their kids a good Christmas and not sell their house. You're supposed to hate the burglars and not feel bad for them. The traps lose their purpose when you give me a reason to care about the burglars and their situation. You're not supposed to root for the burglars and hate the kid defending his house. This is pretty much the first film if they stripped it of anything that made it good and made Harry and Marv want to rob Kevin's house because one of them was going to lose their home. Home Sweet Home Alone gets a 1 out of 5 cameos from Buzz, making this film take place in the exact same universe as the first two films, because why not ruin the legacy of the original even more? I'm done. I'm finally fucking done. No, I'm not. I always forget the overview. Why do I keep doing this to myself anytime I review a franchise? Home Alone is like so many other franchises I've gone over on this show. It starts great, but gets worse and worse with each film. My favorite film in this franchise is Home Alone for being a fun ride with compelling characters and a beautiful heart. My least favorite is Home Sweet Home Alone for not even doing the basics of the franchise by giving the burglars humanity and making the kid an asshole. And that's it with franchises for Christmas. Okay, I am getting off of the franchise train and finding something better to do with my life, because that amount of stress and torture is gonna take some years off of it. Okay, I need to go find my therapist. Thinking table. Remember the thinking table.